Hi, fellow classmates. So for my demonstration speech, I am going to show you how to make a vinyl sticker that you can stick onto your cell phone case. Now, with vinyl, you can actually pretty much stick it to anything. So your car windows, your TV screens if your children happen to get a hold of your vinyl. Any surface that is a flat surface, you can actually stick vinyl to. But for my demonstration, I'm actually going to make a cell phone case. I bought a clear cell phone case to just so I could make stickers to change it up. I don't know about you guys, but I get really bored with my phone cases pretty quick. So having a clear one, I can make my own design and change it up as many times as I want to. So I have included a handout with my speech today so you guys can have actual directions. I have looked at, before I actually got started doing this myself, I watched tons of YouTube videos. So if it's something you're interested in, I have added a handout, but definitely lots of YouTube out there that you can watch to get help on how to make your own designs as well. So before we start, you actually do have to have certain materials. So personally, I have a laptop, so you would need to have a computer. You would need to install Design Space, which is Cricut's version of just where you can get images from or create your own image to print out on your vinyl machine. I also have a Cricut machine, which is an Explorer Air. And the next thing, you'll also have to have actual printable vinyl, some transfer tape, so you can transfer it from the actual vinyl backing to your case, your cell phone case, a cutting mat, and the actual cell phone case. So those are the things you have to obviously make this project. So the first step is going to be, when you're in Design Space, is to actually pick out an image. So on your handout, you can see step number 2, the image I chose for my demonstration. It's pretty true for most of us moms out there that if you take a look at your handout, you'll see what image I chose. Now, I highly recommend the one thing that I found that's most difficult, at least for me, is making sure that I actually measure. And that can be kind of tedious, but if you don't measure correctly, then what you cut out will not fit, and then you've just wasted your vinyl, which can get kind of expensive if you have to print multiple times. So definitely measure. What's the old saying? Measure twice, cut once. Definitely appropriate for vinyl. So once you've chosen your design, then you want to measure where you're going to actually be putting this particular sticker. So I did measure my cell phone case and how I wanted it to look to make sure that I didn't make it too big or too small, so it didn't look right on my case. So once you've done that, as you can see on my handout again, once you've done that, you will move on in Design Space. You'll move to the next step after getting it the proper size. And luckily in Design Space, it does it by inches. Makes it a little bit easier to make sure you get it the proper size. All right. So if we go down to number 7, we're going to click on the Make It button. That way it goes into the next screen where you actually move forward into making your sticker. So as you can see on number 8, so that particular screen is going to come up. It shows you how it's going to look when you print it out on your mat. So once you have the image, and going back to step number 1, honestly, the hardest part is always going to be picking your design. When you go into Design Space, there's hundreds of thousands of different designs. So that's the hardest part when you come to any of these projects, is actually picking one that you like. But again, going back to number 8, so we go to the screen. It lets you see what it's going to look like when you actually cut it out. Then you're going to load in your materials. So again, for my example, I used vinyl, but with this particular machine, you can use paper, you can use any kind of removable vinyl, you can use iron-on, you can make shirts if you want to. So lots and lots of different materials that you can use, particularly for the machine that I'm using. So once you have your material loaded in, then you're actually going to hit the go button, on which, as you can see on step number 10, it looks like a little C. That way, and that will actually cut out your vinyl onto your mat. And once the cutting's complete, you eject the material out of your machine. Then you're going to do weed, which means you're going to remove any excess vinyl that's not included in your design. So once you've done that, you're going to see exactly what you saw on the screen, which you saw on step number 2. It showed the image that I had. That's what my end result is once I remove all the excess. That's the only thing that I should see. So once I do that, then you take your transfer tape, which honestly is just like Scotch tape. You're taking your vinyl on the top, to remove it, to place it on another item. Again, cell phone case for us. And then once I have it on the transfer tape, I can actually stick it to my cell phone case. And as I notated here, you want to rub vigorously to make sure that it actually sticks before you try to remove the transfer tape. Fortunately, if you don't, you can pull it off and then half your image isn't attached, and then you try to have to line it up. And it doesn't typically work out well in the end. But once you have it attached, you can see my image. And this is the same one that I showed on the handout. This is exactly the image. And I'm going to remove my transfer tape with you guys. So you want to make sure that you're not doing it too fast, because you want to make sure that the vinyl actually sticks to your cell phone case. Otherwise, again, we're back to square one, and unfortunately you have to start all over, because there's not typically a way to make it fit back like it should. Now, once I've removed my transfer tape, there's my sticker. So you guys can see, this is actually a new project for me. This is not something that I've done a lot of, but I have always loved those t-shirts. You can see they have all the vinyl on it. You have sweatshirts, phone cases that I've been doing, stickers. I loved seeing all those things, but they're just, to me, seemed so expensive. So I thought if I can make them myself, it just would be a lot cheaper, which, getting the hang of it, it definitely is going to prove that way, but I have to get the hang of it first. But you definitely, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm a learning in progress when it comes to vinyl and stickers and things like that, but I'm loving learning. And as I mentioned before, YouTube has lots of videos, so if you're a new learner like myself, definitely check them out. They are worth watching. Get lots of information. All right, but thanks for watching.